Every football fan grows up idolizing someone. We get their jerseys, we had their posters in our bedrooms, we pretend to be them in backyard football, heck, we even played as them in Madden. But even the most legendary and godlike of athletes once looked up to somebody else as a source of inspiration. So, which NFL legends inspired today's best football players? Grab that old jersey and hang up those old posters, because today we're going to take a look at the childhood idols of 25 NFL stars. George Kittle. His idol? Brett Favre. After the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Carolina Panthers in a 2019 regular season game, the superstar tight end had the honor of meeting his childhood hero, Brett Favre. A video showed Favre meeting with Kittle post-game, where he was kind enough to provide an autographed uniform for him, as the latter grew up in Wisconsin and cheered for Favre and the Packers growing up. Man, little did Kittle know that one day he would make it as a pro and actually have the honor of meeting his idol after a game.
He's always been one of my favorite players, just kind of the joy that he always played with. I feel like we're kind of similar in that regard, and just being able to talk to him is just kind of an honor.
Odell Beckham Jr., his idol, Michael Vick. Spoiler alert, OBJ is not the only player on our list here who idolized Vick. Beckham, who spent some time in Atlanta growing up, has previously revealed Vick as his idol. The Pro Bowl wideout referred to Vick as a generational player ahead of his time. Beckham also attended one of Vick's camps when he was young, and well after Beckham graced the cover of Madden 16, he thanked Vick in a touching post on his Instagram page. Joe Burrow. His idol? Drew Brees. Drafted first overall by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2020, the Heisman Trophy winner will look to follow the lead of his idol, Drew Brees. Burrow got to meet with Brees 3 months before the 2020 draft, and there's an emotional video out there of Burrow telling Brees, "You were my idol growing up. I was a Saints fan because of you."
I know you hear this a lot, but no, you're my idol growing up.
Let's go.
Stephon Gilmore. His idol? Ty Law. It's only fitting that a New England Patriots All-Pro cornerback just so happened to idolize another Patriots All-Pro cornerback as a youngster. 2019's Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore, was a huge Ty Law fan during the latter's playing days with the Patriots. Law played with New England from 1995 to 2004, and he was instrumental in helping them win 3 Super Bowl championships. And when he signed with New England, Gilmore reached out to his longtime hero, who helped him prepare for the demanding life to being a Patriot. Gilmore even attended Law's 2019 Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
My brother,
couple years,
there we are.
We standing here, they can step on Gilmore's books. I promise you that. Real deal.
Needless to say, Gilmore has followed his idol's footsteps tremendously. Cam Newton. His idol? Michael Vick. Vick set the golden standard for how dual-threat quarterbacks should play the game. But throughout most of the 2010s, it was former Carolina Panthers Pro Bowler Cam Newton who was the king of all running quarterbacks. And as such, it's only fitting that Super Cam idolized Vick as a child. Before his 2011 rookie year, Newton received a phone call from Vick, who kindly offered him some advice before he began his pro career. Unfortunately, the two superstar QBs never squared off one-on-one. Instead, Nick Foles had suited up for the Philadelphia Eagles' 2012 meeting with Newton and the Panthers. Alvin Kamara. His idol? Marshall Faulk. The New Orleans Saints star may not quite reach Marshall Faulk's level of dominance and longevity, but Sean Payton has good reason to compare the 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year to the former MVP and Hall of Fame running back. Kamara, like Faulk, has been downright dominant as both a running back and as a pass catcher. He has beautifully modeled his game after Faulk, who was one of Kamara's many idols growing up, along with guys like Clinton Portis, Adrian Peterson, and Priest Holmes. Payton has said that Kamara's route running and intelligence remind him of Faulk, and he was a coach at San Diego State during Faulk's college tenure, so hey, the man knows what he's talking about. Dak Prescott. His idol? Joe Montana. Before Super Bowl 51, Prescott filmed a Spotify commercial with 4-time Super Bowl champion Joe Montana. Joe Cool just happened to be Prescott's childhood idol. The latter was only an infant when Montana played his final NFL season for the Kansas City Chiefs in 1994. But it had to be super cool for number 4 to meet the guy who was a thorn in the side of the Dallas Cowboys for so many years. Zach Martin. His idol? Peyton Manning. Martin was one of the many players whom ESPN asked to name their sports hero ahead of the 2019 ESPYs. For Martin, it was none other than the 5-time MVP and 2-time Super Bowl champion, Peyton Manning. Here's how he explained it. I grew up in Indy. He was everyone's guy growing up. His first pro game when he was going against the Dolphins and Dan Marino was still playing, then the other one was at the AFC Championship when they beat the Patriots finally. those two stand out. Von Miller. His idol? DeMarcus Ware. How cool is this? The Denver Broncos outside linebacker idolized another superstar pass rusher who lined up beside him for 3 years. Miller idolized Ware, a perennial Pro Bowler and 4-time first-team All-Pro with the Cowboys. The Broncos signed Ware to a 3-year, $30 million deal in 2014 free agency. Then 2 years later, this powerful duo dominated Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, and Cam Newton in the playoffs, en route to a Super Bowl 50 championship. It's honestly not every day you get to work not only with your childhood hero, but also win a Super Bowl together. That's the most incredible story you could ever ask for both Miller and Ware. Ben Roethlisberger. His idol? John Elway. 2 number 7s, 2 Super Bowl championships apiece. It's no wonder that Big Ben is often compared to Elway, the Broncos legend and Hall of Famer. Roethlisberger stated that he wears number 7 because of his childhood idol.
Well, that's why I wear 7, because of him. Hero of mine growing up.
It's one thing to dream of having a career like your idols. It's another to actually do it. And Roethlisberger has followed those football blueprints of Elway wonderfully. Davante Adams. His idol? Michael Vick. The Green Bay Packers star receiver was also kind enough to share his sports hero with ESPN in 2019. Like many other current stars, Adams mentioned Vick as his hero. Adams was so inspired by Vick that he admitted he forced himself to throw left-handed. Adams also brought up his love for playing as Vick in Madden 2004. But instead of dazzling as a dual-threat quarterback, Adams eventually became a Pro Bowl wideout for Aaron Rodgers' Packers. But we're sure he's pleased with how things turned out, even if he's not slinging the ball around like his childhood hero. Antonio Brown. His idol? Deion Sanders. AB and Primetime are 2 of the most outspoken players in NFL history, so it probably makes sense that one grew up idolizing the other. Brown told ESPN that Sanders was his childhood sports hero, citing his passion and energy and excitement, and the fact he brought so much swagger and the charisma. It's sad what's happened to Brown's career recently, but despite all that, you have to think he's still well on his way to Canton, where he'll join his hero Primetime. DeAndre Hopkins? His idol, Steve Smith. Few wide receivers in the 21st century have dominated opposing defenses like D-Hop and Steve Smith. It's absolutely not a shocker that the Arizona Cardinals star idolizes Smith.
My guy.
My dude.
I idolize your game, though, man. I feel like we're kind of similar, you know, not the fastest, not the tallest, but we get the job done, man.
Try me if you want to.
During the 2019 season, the NFL shared a video of Hopkins and Smith breaking down film together. What a day that had to be for Hopkins, who, like Smith, should be in the Hall of Fame one day. In the video, the 2 perennial Pro Bowlers also compared their savvy trash-talking games. Needless to say, it certainly made for some great theater. Saquon Barkley. His idol? Adrian Peterson. Ageless wonder Adrian Peterson will go down as the best running back of his generation. He won the 2012 MVP award and is a part of the illustrious 10,000-yard and 100 rushing touchdown clubs. Barkley, one of the most hyped-up running back prospects ever, was taken 2nd overall by the New York Giants in 2018. He was mic'd up for a 2018 home game against the Washington Redskins, and Barkley was simply in awe about watching his childhood idol from the sidelines.
That's Adrian Peterson, bro. You ever watch like the highlights? You ever see the comeback season? Yeah. I used to watch that all the time.
After the game, Barkley and Peterson shared an unforgettable moment at midfield, where AP offered plenty of praise for the eventual 2018 Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Love what you're doing, man. I've been able to watch you, so far, and you got it, man.
Thank you.
You got it. Really love your talent, man.
Appreciate that.
It's remarkable to see.
The 2 men have continued to share plenty of kind words about one another, and hey, having them play in the same division has been a nice little bonus for football fans too. Khalil Mack. His idol? Ray Lewis. Lewis, a 2-time Super Bowl champion and 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, was unquestionably the league's best defensive player of his era, and he is certainly the greatest linebacker of the 21st century. So it shouldn't come as a shock that Khalil Mack, arguably the best linebacker in football today, idolized the Baltimore Ravens icon growing up. Mack wears the number 52 in honor of Lewis. During a 2015 interview with the Mercury News, Mack said that he watched Lewis on NFL Network and was like, yo, this guy is the kind of player that I want to be. Well, Mack can certainly take over games like his childhood hero. He also won the 2016 Defensive Player of the Year award. So, up next, it's time to go out and win some Super Bowls like your idol did. Ezekiel Elliott. His idol? Marshall Faulk. Ahead of the 2018 season, Elliott was excited to learn that Dallas would use him more as a pass catcher. During that time, Elliott pointed out that Falk, his NFL idol, set the golden standard for pass catching running backs. And for what it's worth, the 2016 and 2018 rushing leader uses the same agent that Falk used, Rocky Arsenault. Bobby Wagner. His idols? Brian Urlacher and Ray Lewis. Wagner has been a mainstay on the Seattle Seahawks defense for almost a decade, guiding them to a Super Bowl 48 championship. Even with the Legion of Boom era long gone, Wagner has managed to keep the Seahawks afloat. Wagner, one of the best linebackers in the game today, grew up idolizing two Hall of Fame linebackers in Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher. Wagner pointed out how cool it was that both men spent their entire careers with one team. So, can he manage to do the same in Seattle? Well, I'm sure the Seahawks and their fans are hoping so. Jalen Ramsey. His idol? Deion Sanders. You won't see another cornerback as dominant as Sanders. But current LA Rams and former Jacksonville Jaguars star Jalen Ramsey is sure doing a pretty good job of playing like his boyhood idol.
What he's done for corners, for me, there's definitely no other choice than Deion Sanders. Prime time. That was a perfect fit for me growing up.
A 2019 ESPN article detailed that Ramsey hoped to play wide receiver at some point. That's what primetime did for the Dallas Cowboys at times, and he delivered when they called upon his number. In a 2017 interview with Bleacher Report, Ramsey admitted that there won't be another Sanders, although he does hope to follow in the footsteps of his idol. But one day, I hope with hard work and dedication, I would like to be looked at as Deion is looked at now. A guy who made playing corner very popular his type of way. I want to be looked at like one of the greatest of all time. With that being said, Ramsey is off to a pretty good start. He has the big personality, trash talk skills, and on-field dominance to be this era's version of Sanders. Russell Wilson. His idol? Drew Brees. Ahead of their first meeting in the 2013 season, Wilson cited Brees as his idol, having watched him aplenty during the latter's college days at Purdue. The two struck up a good friendship and began frequent communication early in Wilson's playing days. Wilson got a good laugh by defeating Brees Saints twice in the 2013 season, including the NFC divisional round en route to the Super Bowl. But Brees returned the favor to his superfan with a Week 8 victory in the 2016 season. Julio Jones. His idol? Jerry Rice. Jones, who is definitely one of the best wide receivers of this era, modeled his work ethic after the aforementioned receiving GOAT, Jerry Rice, who also happened to be his idol. Like Rice, Jones put the extra work in following practices, no off days, the mindset of a winner indeed. And in a time where so many wide receivers tend to act like divas, they know who they are. Jones has followed Rice's model as a self-esteem leader. So, for Jones' sake, hopefully he gets to one day hoist the Lombardi Trophy, something that his idol did 3 times in San Fran. J.J. Watt. His idol, Brett Favre. Watt was born and raised in the state of Wisconsin, where he also played college football. He grew up watching Brett Favre and the Packers, whom Watt idolized. During the 2019 season, Watt finally got to meet his childhood idol.
This is like a big deal for me. Like I'm trying to keep it together. You're like the Wisconsin heroes. It make me feel old.
They met as a part of the league's 100th season celebration, and Watt referred to Favre as the one hero in his Wisconsin childhood.
They said I could sit down and watch film with any player I wanted, and growing up in the state of Wisconsin, there's nobody bigger than Brett Favre. So here we are, and I'm trying to contain my excitement.
Oh, thank you, JJ.
Watt entered the NFL in 2011, after Favre announced his retirement. But man, how fun would it have been to see the pass-rushing beast try and chase down his idol in the pocket? Aaron Donald. His idols? Troy Polamalu, Ray Lewis, Jerome Bettis, and Hines Ward. Donald has asserted himself as the best defensive player in football, having won the 2017 and 2018 Defensive Player of the Year awards. And honestly, it's not a stretch to say he is the league's best player on the defensive side of the ball since Lawrence Taylor. During a 2020 interview with Rams Wire, Donald listed 4 NFL legends who he looked up to when he was growing up. I watched a lot of players. It wasn't just defensive linemen. I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so guys like Polamalu, Bettis, Hines Ward,
guys like that were doing it at a high level. Guys I grew up watching, was just a fan of. Guys like Ray Lewis. Not always just defensive linemen. It's guys out there making plays and having success that motivate you.
All 4 of those men retired with Super Bowl rings. So can Donald follow suit? Honestly, that's all he's really missing at this phase of his career. Aaron Rodgers. His idol, Steve Young. Born in Chico, California, Rodgers grew up a 49ers fan, so obviously he idolized Joe Montana and Steve Young. Honestly, it's kind of funny how Rodgers and Young ended up on similar paths. The former replaced franchise icon Brett Favre in Green Bay, while Young replaced Joe Montana in San Fran. And both Rodgers and Young led their respective teams to a Super Bowl shortly after earning the starting gigs. Here's what Rodgers had to say about his childhood idol, according to a 2011 article from Tom Osborne of the San Antonio Express-News. One guy who I've gotten to know over the past couple of years, a guy who I've come to rely on and lean on, and talk to him this week, is Steve Young. Steve went through a similar situation out in San Francisco when he took over. He's a friend. He's made time for me. He's somebody I really appreciate. Lamar Jackson. His idol? Michael Vick. Good lord, did Vick's playing style ever inspire a generation of dual-threat quarterbacks. First, there was Cam Newton. Less than a decade later, we got Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore Ravens traded up via the Philadelphia Eagles and drafted Jackson 32nd overall in 2018. Jackson went on to win 6 of his 7 starts in his rookie year and guided Baltimore to an AFC North Division title, but the best was yet to come. In 2019, Jackson won the MVP award after leading the NFL with 36 touchdown passes. He also racked up 1,206 rushing yards, the most ever in a single season for a quarterback. So yeah, you can probably understand why he admired Vick so much. Before his 2018 rookie season, Jackson was asked about his favorite quarterback growing up in an interview with Sports Illustrated. Here's why Jackson idolized the former Falcons and Eagles star so much. How he approached the game with swagger, you know? How he made people miss, and how he could sling the ball around. I just love that about his game. Tom Brady. His idol? Joe Montana. Yeah, one GOAT idolized another, who would have thought? Brady was born in San Mateo, California. His family cheered for the San Francisco 49ers, and a 4-year-old Brady was in attendance for Montana's most iconic career moment, the game-winning touchdown pass to Dwight Clark in the 1981 NFC Championship game that kick-started the 49ers' 80s dynasty. Brady spent much of his career chasing his childhood idol. He finally matched Montana by beating Seattle in Super Bowl 49 for his 4th championship ring. But along the way, Brady smashed several of Montana's postseason records. These men are widely considered to be the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time. But Brady suggests that Montana was simply better. And hey, for what it's worth, Montana hasn't outright called Brady the GOAT. Montana advised the superfan to finish his career at the Patriots. But just like his idol, Brady opted to start a new chapter before retirement, signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after spending 20 years in Foxborough. Who is your childhood NFL idol? You can let us know in the comment section below. And hey, if you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. But if this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thank you for watching and we'll see you guys next time.